Hello everybody, welcome to Sophie's Sweets Academy. Today I'm going to show you how to make the most amazing banana bread ever. You probably already have all the ingredients in your kitchen except maybe the very ripe bananas. You know, like when you pick them up and the peel basically starts coming off as soon as you start peeling it. That will be the key for the best banana flavor. This is literally so good, you guys have to try this out. Alright, let's get started. For this you'll need 6 tablespoons of room temperature butter, a cup of white sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 2 room temperature eggs, 3 very ripe bananas, a cup of sour cream. You cannot skip the sour cream. That's what makes it so moist. Ew, who else doesn't like that word? 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half a tablespoon of baking soda, 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and half a cup of chopped walnuts. I didn't have walnuts, so I used pecans instead, or pecans, however you call it. You're going to start by putting all your butter into a deep bowl along with all of your sugar, so the white sugar and the brown sugar. And you're going to mix until well combined. My mixture turned into a sandy consistency, but if your butter was a little more warm, then it would turn this into a creamy consistency, which is just fine, so don't worry about that. Once it's all mixed, it's time to add the bananas. By the way, do you know how to peel a banana? Turns out you peel it from the bottom up. I guess this is how monkeys do it, so this is how I do it. Just a quick random fact there. Anyways, you're going to mix all this up until there are no clumps or lumps anywhere. Now add it to your sugar and butter mixture. Now mix until well combined. It's time to add your eggs. And time for the sour cream. It may seem like a lot, but this is literally exactly what makes it moist, so don't skip it. Now add the vanilla and the cinnamon. That's it for the wet ingredients. Let's go on to the dry ingredients. I'm going to start with all the flour. Here I'm adding the baking soda, and then I also added the salt, but I didn't record that, sorry. You're going to mix all of that and now add it to the wet ingredients. I used a baking spatula to mix all of this. You don't want to overmix this because it will become a very dense cake. If you overwork the flour, it releases the gluten from the flour, which makes it more dense when you bake it. So just don't overmix it. And here I'm just coating the pecans with flour so that they don't sink at the bottom. You can always add or substitute this for chocolate chips, which is what I wanted to do, but the icing with the chocolate chips and the walnuts and everything, it was going to be too sweet for me, so I said no to the chocolate chips. And what I'm brushing on here is Cake Goop from Sugar Geek Show. She basically just mixes flour, oil, and butter and just makes this goop. And when you brush it on your pan, whatever pan it is, your cake literally slides out once it's cooled after it's baked. It's really, really awesome. I also made a video for that, so look for it on my YouTube. And now I'm just pouring all of batter in. And I had some extra, so I just filled a mini loaf pan. I could have added the chocolate chips into this one and not the icing, but it totally slipped my mind. So if you want to add chocolate chips to another pan for a variety of flavors, then you can. Now onto the oven. These go at 300 degrees for 1 hour. For the brown butter icing, you'll need a 1/4 cup of butter, 2 to 3 tablespoons of hot water, 1 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla, 1 to 2 pinches of salt, and walnuts or pecans to top it all off. Of course, the icing is completely optional, however, I really recommend putting this on there because it makes it just extra special. Start by placing your butter into a pan on low-medium heat. The butter will melt and it'll start bubbling and sizzling, and eventually you'll start seeing brown specks at the bottom. Once you see most of the bottom of the pan covered in these brown specks, then turn the stove off. You'll notice it smells differently too. This is what it looks like, and this took me about 4 to 5 minutes. Now to this, add 1 tablespoon of your hot water and the vanilla, as well as the powdered sugar. Now mix until well combined. I didn't record me adding the rest of the water, but it should look like this once it's done. Make sure to taste it. If it's too sweet, then slowly add more pinches of salt until it tastes just right for you. And just remember that this icing sets really quickly, so if it hardens in the pot while you're still waiting for your bread to finish, you can put the icing again on low heat and it'll melt again, so you can pour it over the cake. Now let's see if our cake goop worked, and sure enough, it works every time. Now it's time to glaze the cake. Make sure to do this kind of quickly because, like I said, this icing sets really fast. You can add your walnuts or pecans here. My icing set, so they weren't really sticking on too well, but that's okay. And we are done with the banana bundt cake, yay! Now I'm going to do the same thing with the loaf. And look at how beautiful this looks. My house smelled amazing with this. I mean, and the taste is even better. So please make this and tag me if you do. And look at this cute packaging. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys want to learn next, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.